Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our Tuesday noon-ish live. I'm happy today to discuss a topic that just came up in one of my emails, and I did a little bit of a research, and I kind of knew that this is very important to bring up. Because if you get promoted and then you're thinking about quitting the place, it is something that we need to talk about it, right? So why is this happening? And the research kind of shows that 20% of the leadership and management that get promoted, they pretty much think about moving in a different place, leaving the place within 6 months of that promotion. There is also research to show that any employee who gets promoted, not necessarily in a leadership or management role, it's like 29% that it's thinking about moving. So the organizations have to pay attention to this. We don't want them to stop promoting people when they need it, but we want to wonder, why is this happening? And are they doing those promotions a little bit too late? Maybe those employees are waiting for too long for this to happen. And when it's happening, they kind of feel like, okay, I got this. Now I'm going to move in a different place because with a new role, I have a better chance to find. And I don't know. What do you think? So let's go back a little bit and see at what at the core of this, what exactly is happening. And we're going to just take it piece by piece because there could be different reasons. But if you are thinking about this today, I would like for you to kind of sort out all the thoughts that are coming in your mind and see, first of all, why is this happening? Why are you entertaining this idea? If you are a leader, if you are a manager that got promoted and now you are in a new role and your teammates have to look at you now in a different and have different expectations. And probably some of them are thinking that maybe they were better fit for the particular role that you just got promoted into. That could put a pretty big stress on you. And I could understand that. And I hope everybody kind of agrees that this can happen and it will happen. So how do you pass that situation? How do you manage that? What's happening in your mind, and how can you show up in case you want to stay with the company to make that work? So that would be one case that it's worth discussion and it's worth looking at it. But then another one is like, why, in case you got this promotion a little bit late and you were waiting for it and it was a little bit too long for you to wait for it, you may just don't feel connected with the company anymore. You feel like you just got treated not fairly and you were not recognized for the contribution that you made. So again, companies and leaders have to look at the situation and see when is the best time to make that promotion. Because if it's too late, it's going to trigger this thought in your mind. Another situation could be that, hey, you just got promoted, you want to stay in the company, you want to be there with the team that you have, or you're just going to acquire new teams. So you're kind of going to be in a new position as a new face into another team that you were supposed to build and create it and be now, bring that team to the highest level of performance that are possible. I would say that probably is better in that case when you're just moved in a different department or you're kind of new, because it gives you the chance to create new bonds with people that you probably don't necessarily were connected in a different level before. So that could be probably a situation where you will be maybe out of all those that we just discussed in a better position. But let's see what happens when you are there and you want to stay with the company, but you're not getting the support that's needed, because that could also happen. You will be into a place and Nobody's there for you to mentor. Nobody's there for you to coach you. There is nobody there that will actually can share. You feel open to share when you have a question. So yes, leaders, it's very important when you put somebody in a new position to open that channel, and hopefully that happened before you made the promotion, to encourage this person to bring up whatever their qualities that you found that could be great in this new role, and help them manage that role and the transformation with you on their side, and not necessarily just watch, just see how they give them opportunity when you are in a meeting to run a meeting. Give them opportunity when you just don't feel like going to a meeting because you kind of know what's going to happen. Have them run it and give you the insight back. Put them in this position slowly and gradually, and have them be open to coaching in that role. Coach them to be in that role. I know we're all kind of say, when you're going to be in this new role, I also have seen in all the other organizations, now because you're a manager, you're going to go and you participate to this training. And everybody gets excited. They're going to go on a trip. They may stay 2-3 days on an offsite, and they learn new skills with other people from different organizations, not with their teams, right? So they're going to be there and going to discuss how is the best now, how can you show up now differently. And you come from that training with some knowledge that you want to apply it. And without knowing the context, that whatever you're going to learn, it may just backfire so badly. I've seen this, so it can be terrible in a way. Because you're coming with some information that is pulled probably out of the context that you are in, because your context, your company, and your culture, and everything that happened in the history that you have in that organization is going to set. It's not so easy. It's not this equation has multiple things inside to make it work, and everything is going to balance or move things in one direction or another. That's why the trust and the relationships that you're building where you are in any of your roles are so critical, because later on when you're getting a promotion or if you are put in a different position, those will be the ones that are going to help you tremendously to leverage your skills and to leverage the network that you just built in your company. But just to come with a tip from doesn't matter what kind of training, could be the best in class, and apply it here without you analyzing that whatever you just learned, how it's going to be impacting your team, it's going to be something that you want to pay very much attention to, because our moments that your team are going to sense that you're coming with something in and now you want to show off. And when you do that, you're just breaking the bridges that are going to help you connect and keep that relationship and the trust alive. So you got to be very careful when you bring some new knowledge, training inside, and just make sure that it's going to be the right kind of implementation that you're going to put in. So that would be for the case that we kind of like the third case that I kind of highlighted here for you. When this promotion is just happens for you and you're hopefully move into a new role, you get new people that you can connect with. So you don't kind of be hijacked by those that were thinking that you're not as good as they could be in that role. Because when that happens, so let's go to that first scenario, when you are put into a position where your teammates may have just congratulate you for your role, for the new promotion, and now you have to deal with people who are going to always think that they were better than you in that position, that's going to be something quite hard, not impossible. but quite hard to deal with. So you have to be aware of that. You have to know that if this happens, you have to know how to answer, you have to acknowledge it, and you're going to make a plan to work with that and to transform that person into your asset. And how you do that? Well, again, you're going to be the mentor, be the coach that's going to help that person take more responsibilities and help you and support you. You got to reorient that person that may think differently about you right now, and they may just have a little bit of hesitation in supporting you. You got to point them towards a vision that your company has and your department has. You're going to push them to see that you and them are going to, or him or her, or how many you have to deal with, you're going to form a team, and you're put there just now to serve that team. You're not put there to dictate what the team should do. You're not going to give them assignments. You're just going to give them the opportunity to support that vision. And you're going to be in the role that helps them to participate and to contribute to that vision up front. So they're going to be the one in front. You're going to be the one in the back, supporting them, giving them everything that they need, from training, coaching, mentoring, support, open door policy, anything that you can do to have them communicate. You're going to stay, immerse yourself into that role by telling them that you're going to be the best support that they need to have in order for them to contribute. So if you take that approach, you may be able to twist things around and don't have to leave. So let's look now at the last kind of a scenario that we talked about it. When the promotion comes too late and you already kind of have to deal with all the emotions that, okay, finally now you're thinking about me, maybe you have no other options. Now you kind of found the money in the company to really give me this promotion. Because by the way, the promotion, the fact that you can get the contribution or opportunity to contribute, it shouldn't be connected with waiting for the company to find the money to give you more on your salary. So leaders could enable the new manager or leader to take responsibilities before they actually convince the company that they need to pull some more money and put it in this promotion. So you can actually do what you need to do. So they are connected, absolutely, but if you are willing to prove yourself and to be there for your manager and support them to get that vision done, then you're going to be automatically connected with that promotion, and sooner rather than later that will happen. So if you're in that position where you feel like you waited for too long, and now you're kind of done with this company because you cannot forgive them for waiting, for doing this in such a bad, for you, that's what you're feeling, right? That they took too long and they didn't recognize that you could do this sooner. I would have to ask you to have an introspect, look at yourself in where exactly you are with what you would like to contribute in this world, right? So think about, if you're going to go to a different company, you will have to deal with new places, new people, take it all over. You know how that is, right? When you start in a new place. But you also have to think about that if you got a little bit promoted a little bit later than you expected, it could have been not just the logistics of having you get that role. It could be the fact that maybe the leader that you had was not sure that you could do the job that you were supposed to do. So it's always better to kind of go back and look at what you could do differently and what you could help. And by the way, if you are in that position when you feel that you should be promoted or you could do more, you could say that. And the way you could say it is not like, hey, I deserve this because I'm smarter and I'm better than anybody else in this team. Of course, you don't want to show up like that. We don't want people to lead us in that way. But you could actually come in and ask for more to be done. Ask the leader, what is that you could do in order to help them with the next thing that's down the line. Tell them your ideas. Don't hold on them. Don't keep them, don't hide the ideas that you have just because you think that people will judge you. Tell your ideas to your leaders. Ask them what do they think, or what is that you're missing in order to create probably a plan. Ask questions, the right questions, in order to understand what else is behind that you cannot see from where you are, in order to solve a bigger problem. So if you do that, your leader will feel and will get the sense that they can trust and they can give you what you need, the support that you needed in order for you to kind of rise. So it's very important to keep those relationships in sync and just show up all the time with an open mind and a desire to serve. If you're going to have that innately, you won't be in the position to feel like you're waiting for too long to get promoted. But if you are there, so that was a kind of a big derail for what I want to say, but if you are in that position and you kind of lost all the connections with the company, feeling that you cannot trust them anymore, you don't feel like your contribution is going to be used there. After you took this time to kind of think about it, have you done everything that you could in order to show up at the right time and give them your intention? Or it could be that delay, it's also because of you. So after you clean that up, and if you think like, yes, the delay, it's not because of you, it's not like something that you could have speed up, and you need to move on, obviously nobody can stop you. But what you could also think is, what can you learn from all this experience? And how can you make sure that you take this in considerations in the future, in a different place maybe? But those first, you have to realize that, and the leaders have to realize that the first few months after the promotion are very critical to the success of the person who is newly promoted. They face all kind of challenges that they have never seen and experienced before. So without the support of a strong mentor and a leader that is in the organization above them, but actually supporting them behind, right? Supporting that person, it's going to be very hard to implement. And everybody gets a little bit stressed out, if not more, when they really need to do something else that they have done in the past. Change, thinking about doing something new, your brain is going to need adjustments. It's going to take all the things that you have thought in the past and that are not possible. Now they will be possible. So you got to show up a little bit differently. You're going to dress up maybe differently. You're going to do things in a different way. But even when you talk and you serve the team that you have is going to be very, very different than when you were not in this position. I know that we all studied our leaders, and probably on a list of 1 to 10, we were thinking how many great leaders we actually had in our career. And I heard people that I'm so happy to hear that they can just name 4 or 5 in a 20 years of career. And I also know that there are people who probably have never experienced a great leader, unfortunately. And I know that somebody may have just seen one in their career, and they're wondering, why is that? So why is that goes back to those taking the responsibility to build those great relationships and of trust, and just make sure that your contribution is put out and it's heard, but it's also your responsibility to sell it and to be there with the persistence that's needed until you're turned down, until you say, okay, what am I missing? You're not going to just give up on some stuff that you believe in. So that's very important. If you have that attitude, it's a mission focused attitude. We talked about that. It's an entrepreneur kind of approach to everything that you're doing in that organization. So when that it's in your mind from the beginning, you could be in the role that you're not going to get to be the statistics of 20% of people kind of wanted to quit after that. You will also be the one responsible to request your leader. One thing that I would have done probably different is to ask for more or ask for what is needed, right? I need time to understand things in a much broader and deeper, sometimes broader and sometimes deeper levels. I also you could just think about how you could ask your leader for the mentorship and that's needed, and for the coaching time, because the coaching is very important to occur. If it's done correctly, it's going to impose you to think about the questions, the most important questions that you could enable your mind to go over that barrier, I would say, and just see more or have a transformation done in that discussion. So that's why coaching exists. If it's done correctly, it's going to have you have an insight that you could now apply it or move or be more clarity, bring clarity to your mind, and have you be more enabled and engaged to continue to do what your mission is. So I hope that in my network here, I don't have too many that are thinking that they just need to quit after 6 months. I hope that if you are there and if you need any kind of support or you like to talk, I'm open for discussion with you privately, just to figure out if there is anything that I could do to help you to see that opportunity in a different way. And it's very important to not lose track of what you really like to accomplish. And I know that we're moving in this life so fast that we don't take the time to think and to analyze. Even those all kind of assignments that are coming or things that are happening around us, we need to learn to sort them out. My kids were in a Montessori school, and I loved when they were very young and they understood that they need to take all the things that they had in front of them and sort them out, either by color, either by shape, either by the type of family that they belong to, fruits and stuff, right? And then analyze them and then move them around and then make all kind of combinations. That helps us to take each piece and look at it and then prioritize it accordingly. Otherwise, we will just be on a continuous let's get a target and shoot at it all the time and be all the time in that stress and in doing more of the mode, rather than on looking at the things and assessing them before we act on them. So I hope you get to change the place that you are in. I hope you're going to realize that you have that power. It doesn't matter where you are in the organization. Everybody has that opportunity to change that environment. Yes, it takes you to be responsible and act on what's needed and say sometimes the things that are hard to be said. But if you want to kind of go back to sleep at night and think that you've done everything that you could, you don't want to hold back. I think the worst thing that can happen in anything, any kind of organization, you take it a family, you take it at work, a team, friends, relationship, doesn't matter in which of those, if you are holding back and you're not expressing what you see that can be better, or what you see that can be not necessarily better, but what you see that can be, it's happening in a moment, or what's the reaction. If you're not open to say that, then other people may not know what they're doing and what the effect is of what they're doing. Better say that. Everybody probably knows what they're doing, right? But they don't know necessarily how they impact certain people, because we're all thinking in a different way. We all have our brain wired in a very different way and unique way. So when you're thinking about that, we cannot just assume that we'll show up somewhere and everybody is going to agree with us. No, we have to realize that because everybody is unique, they will perceive and look at what we say and feel what we say in a different, probably different way. Some may be at the same level. Some may just get us what we want to say because they trust us more, because they know us more, because they like us more, and they're more open. They don't look at us with that judgmental kind of a brain. They're looking at us with an open mind, and that is beautiful. That's why we're supposed to stay in that stage of our brain, and where we're not necessarily judging, we're just taking information and we let it work on us. So when we are judging somebody, we're just coming and we're pushing back. We're just listening, not to connect with someone, but we're listening to think about what would be the best response I should give them. Or we're not necessarily understanding what they say, but that's why the connection is not happening. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I don't want to keep it for too long. All the time when we're doing this, I want to keep it up to 30 minutes max. So I'm going to stop here. Please let me know if you have any questions. And I will hope that the organizations and the leaders are going to consider when is the right time and how is the right way to take someone and give them the opportunity to contribute more and to test in a way their intentions, and also test in a way the fact that they may not know themselves very well, but you as a leader have a responsibility to see what is the best in everyone and take that and put a light on it. Make sure that is something that's going to be blossoming in your teams. I hope you could do that. I hope everybody is going to have a great week, and I'm going to see you next Tuesday about the same time. Thank you. See you soon.